Mein Name ist Günter Wetzel.
My name is Günter Wetzel. I was born in 1955 in Gruppenräumer in Thuringia. Gruppenräumer is a small village near Persneck, which was a perfect starting point for our escape. We then came to the west. I lived in Upper Franconia for 14 years and have been living in Chemnitz, Saxony for 4 years
In
now.
Oberfranken gelebt und seit 4 Jahren lebe ich jetzt in Chemnitz in Sachsen. Ich muss sagen, meine Kindheit.
I have to say that my childhood was simply beautiful. I grew up in a village where, at the time, you could say that it was a bit of an idyllic world, about 10 years after the war ended when I was born. There were no war damages, which was good, so I had a relatively unburdened childhood, and I think that childhood in the East at that time was comparable to childhood in the West in a village.
Ich denke, da hat es keine großen Unterschiede gegeben. Bloß das Ganze hat sich natürlich dann, je älter man geworden ist, immer mehr in negative Richtung entwickelt.
I don't think there were any major differences, but as one grows older, one becomes more and more aware of the negative aspects of the system and the fact that one was not allowed to have their own opinions. Instead, one had to publicly express the opinions that were required of them. And it was tough. I couldn't identify with this system in any way, which is why I was politically very reserved. I did my job professionally and as required, didn't want to attract any attention. This was criticised a bit because I was not willing to join the SED and thus tried to limit my personal development in the GDR quite a bit.
Dadurch bedingt hat man mich halt dann schon versucht einzuschränken, sodass meine persönliche Entwicklung dann auf DDR-Seite ziemlich gebremst wurde. Also ich habe 1978 in einer Zeitschrift aus dem Westen einen Bericht gesehen über das alljährliche
In 1978, I saw a report in a magazine from the West about the annual balloonist meeting in Mexico. And there I saw the many colourful balloons and thought to myself, it can't be that difficult. A big fabric bag and the air goes in, it floats away. That's how the idea was born, to flee to the West, because I assumed it wouldn't be so difficult to float away with 8 people in a hot air balloon.
mit so einem Heißluftballon davon zu schweben. Ich hatte noch keine Erfahrung, einen Ballon zu bauen. Der zweite Ballon hat auch
I had no experience building balloons. The second balloon worked, but it was too small for 8 people. And then finally, the Prince balloon. It was large enough to lift 8 people, and then we flew to freedom on the 16th of September 1979 from the GDR to the West with this balloon.
Westen geflohen. Also wir sind nachts 2:32 Uhr gestartet und 3 Uhr gelandet. Das war
We started at night at 2:32 a.m. and landed at 3 a.m. So we had darkness throughout the whole journey and didn't see how we crossed the border.
Wir wurden gesehen von einigen auf der Ostseite.
We were seen by some. On the east side, even 3 spotlights were aimed at us. However, these spotlights did not reach us.
Uns nicht erreicht haben. Ja, zuerst mal zum Thema Angst. Ab dem Augenblick, als es losging, dann waren wir so unter Spannung, das war im Grunde
From the moment it started, we were so tense that there was actually no fear at all. We just functioned and did what was necessary. That feeling stayed with us throughout the whole ride until we eventually saw the border. That's when we made a decision, realised that we had made it.
Und es war uns klar, dass sie uns halt erfasst haben. Als wir dann gelandet waren,
You can't really say that there are differences between East and West in general. I don't think it has developed so far apart since it used to be one country.
Das hat sich nicht ganz so weit auseinander entwickelt. Das war ja früher mal ein Land. Und ich muss eins dazu sagen, ich bin 25 Jahre im Außendienst gewesen durch die ganze Bundesrepublik.
I have to say one thing, though. I was in sales for 25 years and travelled throughout the entire Federal Republic, and there are certain differences everywhere, whether I'm in the Rhineland or in Bavaria or in Saxony. Of course, mentalities are different, but I don't want to label them as good or bad. It's a bit different, but I wouldn't call it a direct cultural difference. Even after reunification or after the fall of the wall, I visited the East again. I visited a family there and was glad that it worked out.